You know, this is really odd to think about, but if you grew up or was born 1997, you're actually older than Google. Right? I was 96. I think it was 1998, September 4th. Google erected itself into being. So it's a little odd to think about. But nowadays, I don't even know. Like, you'd think Google's supposed to be a search engine, but no, it actively censors certain searches and is effectively a pitch engine because you can Google one thing and like okay, on the first page you get ads and corporate whatever things that pay to be on the first search page. But then you go to the second page and it'll be the same fucking things. Like, I should I say this? I'm looking up how to watch uh, Deep Space Nine, Star Trek for free. Wink, wink. And like, you get blog sites, you'll get like certain streaming sites that sort of corral you towards like, the official streaming sites. And then I'd go to like the fifth page, and then I might get, the free wink wink site. But the first four pages are, some of them are literally just the same results. And it's like, oh, I searched the 100,000 in like point 0.5 seconds results. And you're getting the same fucking results on the first couple pages. Like, Google search is kind of fucked. And I don't know, is Bing really any better? Probably not. Yahoo is archaic. But Google at least was known. Now, granted, you could search some fucked up things with the Google search, like early 2010s. But now it's just primarily has been just, I don't know, if it's not dumping ads and if it's not dumping AI, searches on you, like maybe you'll find the specific thing you're looking for, but you're gonna have to do a lot of sifting. But why Google search is falling apart.
Google search has become a lot worse than you think. Look at this. Let's say how to secure my data. Okay, so one, two, three, four. Four adverts. These are all sponsored links. Like, imagine if you clicked on one of our YouTube videos and I chose to start with 4 sponsored ads before I even got into the content. Google used to be magic. It's easy to take for granted nowadays, but the ability to just find anything you wanted in like 5 seconds was revolutionary when it was new. But I've been noticing more and more over the last few years, things starting to feel a little off. So, I've done a deep dive, no thanks to Google, and I found the 3 major reasons as to why Google search is not just in decline, but it's borderline broken now. And the way that they started changing this results page is the first. Like, look at this again. Do you notice something? Because aside from the fact that 4 ads before your content feels almost violating, the thing that's even worse is when you consider something called the fold. The imagined line where if you want to see anything past it, you have to take action, like scrolling down. The term comes from newspapers, where you'd want to put the most important information not just on the front page, but specifically on the top half of that front page, so that people can see it even when the paper is folded up instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of uh, mooching off the whole interacting aspect of, well, human beings. It's like, oh, you want to see this on the front page because it's major news. Only, I guess, in Google's case, they've paid to have this shit placed before even any of the results. And I mean, there's probably more ads on Google when you search than there are like porn sites. And at least clicking on a porn site guaranteed you a virus. With Google, it's sort of a, you don't know where those sponsored links will be redirected because some of them probably don't even work anymore, but they're still there. So though with Google, it's a dice roll, right? People don't like uncertainty. People like the devil you know.
Above the fold. Now, newspapers never got to a stage of having so much power that they could regularly afford to stick big adverts across their fold. They needed the fold to convince people to get the paper in the first place. But compare that to now, where the entire fold is just sponsored content, and it's starting to feel like Google's gotten too comfortable. Google has become so at ease that they don't even feel like they need to convince people to use them anymore. This company...
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with monopolies, right? And say what you want about Google, it is a de facto monopoly on information. I mean, I guess you have Twitter or Facebook, but most people who aren't technologically inclined, I mean, will go, like, if they want to search to get a Twitter account, they will search it on Google, or to get a Reddit account, they will search it on Google. Like, Google has so many just failed products. Like, they tried the Google Stadia, it failed. They're trying it. What did they? Was didn't Google have a version of Meta, or am I thinking of Facebook? Like, I mean, you could even Google the amount of failed products that Google has invested in, and well, you'll above the sponsors, some of them probably to those products that have failed. You'll get a big list. I think Google and YouTube has just patent this interactive ads. So if you want an ad to go away on your fucking YouTube video, you have like a McDonald's ad, you have to like shout "Go McDonald's" or "Yes McDonald's." It's so fucking goofy and dystopian that I'm all for it. All for shitting on it, that is.
used to pride themselves specifically on how quickly their search engine finds you an accurate answer. But now you're either having to specifically invest more time just to scroll past their ads, or trust that the ads have what you want. Spoiler, they do not. Otherwise, those posts would be at the top organically without having to pay to get there. Oh, and you might have forgotten, but a decade ago, these sponsored links used to be highlighted in yellow, indicating to the user in a very obvious way that these aren't organic search results, so that you could just filter them out. And sometimes they were in their own cordoned off section to the right of the results. Not anymore. Now the sponsored search results look exactly like the genuine search results, apart from a tiny little, much less obvious sponsored text. And all of that is just for when you're searching for answers. Look what happens when you start searching for products. So I've been doing a lot of searching recently for a new chair. Wow. Yet again, not a single organic result in sight, but instead an entire carousel of shopping ads. And I think there's something particularly interesting happening with these shopping ads. And I'm not even talking about the fact that, no, it's not just you. These product listings are taking up more real estate on the results page nowadays than they used to. They are.
Yeah, and again, if I was in Google's shoes, like, this is huge. This is effectively a free money hack. Just, have companies and have certain, supply chains just pay you money to have their products slapped full front on the page when they Google a thing. I mean, Amazon probably does this. I mean, Walmart probably does this. Like, I'm even looking like yeah. I mean, other like business to business transactions like this are not surprising. And again, you the consumer will never see these transactions. You just need to really look at the result, and the result of these transactions is this right here: sponsored links, sponsored ads showing up before you're even you get what the fuck you're looking for. And it's not only that; it really does just stuff up the page, which is why you need to go to like the 5th or the 15th page just to get specifically what you're looking for, is because of this right here.
34% bigger just compared to 2021. But it's not even that. See, I do a lot more internet shopping than most people. For one video, sometimes we're buying 20 products. And so, while this one is more of a feeling and it's a little harder to prove, it is really starting to feel like with shopping, Google is specifically making the organic search results bad to make the best way to shop directly from the ads. Like whenever I'm searching for something specific, like let's say I was trying to find the thinnest mini fridge to fit a particular space in my room. Thinnest mini fridge. And would you look at that? Something that completely fits the description I've typed. A fridge that's not too big and is thin. So the sponsored results are spot on. Google clearly understands what I'm looking for. So what happens when I scroll down and look at the organic results? Okay, first up is Amazon. And nope, 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 none of these products. Okay, so let's go back to Google search and just scroll down. Nope, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, nothing.
Well, to be fair, with the organic, you'll probably need to be a little bit more specific. Like you need to put the dimensions of the fridge or the type of fridge or, you know, whatever brand it fits under. So, to be fair, if you want the organic, you'll probably have to be specific, but I mean, I think the majority of people looking for mini fridges are probably thinking of results like these. Not like that super extra thin.
Here is it. Every one of these fridges is short and wide, which is not what I was looking for. This is puzzling, right? Like surely Google, with its current level of intelligence and review data, has the ability to take me straight to the single best rated product for exactly what I'm looking for. And yet, does it not seem a little like Google's playing dumb? The difference between how hack sharp they are with making sure that the sponsored recommendations are spot on, but then at the very least not putting that same effort into their organic results, but maybe even deliberately making them less accurate. And when you look at the company's business model, it would make sense as to why they might do that.
Yeah, they're a monopoly. They don't have to do it. Like, it is in their interest to have the sponsors on the front page, and it's also in their interest to keep you scrolling so you could use it more often and you can interact with this Google more often than not. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's something that's just like, yeah. If I was the head CEO of Google, well, I probably would just suck up dividends and not give a shit. But if I was like a Google engineer who's paid, 6 digits, I'd be like, yes, like implement this shit right now. Infinite money hack my guy, and force the user to interact with the product more. I guess the product for Google is really information, but to interact with the search to get the product more, so they're used to this. And again, they snuck this in later and later just to so you wouldn't even know what's happening. Because most, let's be honest, most people don't really look that far into Google and what they're doing. They just use Google just to, I don't know, find their porn. Speaking of, I remember when like Overwatch came out and Google was actively removing, the Rule 34 searches for Overwatch, and I kind of understand why, because Overwatch was marketed towards kids, and a child doesn't want to look up Overwatch on Google, on the Google search, and get fucking Tracer's ass cheeks. Like, I kind of understand why, and obviously based off that is completely gotten to this point. But yeah, I mean, Google just has no reason not to do this.
Here's the thing, Google doesn't make more money if you find the perfect product. It's not like they're out there hoping you'll have an awesome Google experience and you'll go recommend Google to 5 friends. No, Google has your attention, and they're making more money now by making more from your attention. Google's dream situation is that every company realizes that if they want to sell, they have to pay Google to be part of the sponsored buying section. And I can't shake the feeling that they are trying to create this pay-to-win environment, because this sponsored shopping segment is now not just a way to get a little bit of a visibility boost, it's been designed to be the only easy way for users to shop on Google. Like, for example, let's see what happens when you try and search for something with a little bit more detail. So let's go back to chairs, but this time, world's most comfortable chair. As expected, the shopping carousel is filled with exactly the kinds of things I'm looking for, a varied selection of all very comfortable things with links to buy them. But then scroll down and most of the search results are just articles, list-based articles, which is a separate, very big problem that I'm getting to. So I nearly...
Well, I mean, then again, you just typed another broad, subjective search into Google. I mean, you have to be more specific, because even way back when, yeah, if you typed in the world's most comfortable chair, how you'd probably get like one of those like goddamn toilet chairs from Idiocracy. But yeah, you'll get like recliners and shit. Like, you're typing in very, even for 2010's Google's metrics, very broad searches. Now, like, I get like the intent and the point you're trying to make, but again, it's a little bit too broad.
thought for a second, oh, this is a good result. That looks like a very comfortable chair for £75. And then you scroll down and you see, this item is available for adoption, not for sale. So I pay just for the chair to continue to exist. Like, what the... Oh, Google...
Okay, now that is some adoption. What does that mean? I find that there's such this odd mindset that's been going around. Like, the fact that you can rent a chair or like rent like housing articles, like a fridge. Like, is this really the you'll own nothing and be happy mindset that the liberals, the wokies, the Democrats are really trying to impose on us? It's just this odd mindset. It's like, I guess most people rent. If you own a house, why the fuck would you rent a couch and not just buy one? Just so fucking weird. And I see this. I can't remember which company it was. I think it was like a Home Depot advertisement. Now, this is completely unrelated to what he's saying, but like, you can pay to adopt, so you can pay to have that ad just sit there and save to Google. Like, what is this odd idea of being frivolous with other people's money? Like, I'm sorry, if you pay for that, you probably just, you need, like, someone, like a guardian.
Google doesn't even seem to care if it takes you to scam sites. So many times when I've been browsing for what furniture might go into our future home, we are recommended sites like LitFad in this sponsored carousel. Okay, so LitFad reviews, Trustpilot's at the very top, and warning. This company's trust score is currently unavailable due to a breach of Trustpilot's guidelines. This company has been pressuring people to change or remove their negative reviews, and even then, it's primarily 1 star. Okay, so LitFad is a scam. Beware of LitFad's customer service. It doesn't...
Granted, that's from Reddit. I mean, the movement of information has gotten so distorted in the past, like companies threatening people to remove bad reviews. That's something that, again, if you were to do this in 2015, like the 2010s, 2015, as a company, you would destroy your brand. But there's a lot of these, like, I can't remember the term we used. It was like these like dime a dozen labels that sometimes get ripped off and replaced almost monthly. And a lot, and you'll be surprised how many, third party, uh, I guess for lack of a better term, not really scam websites, but the type of websites that you sells very shady shit does this. Like it's so easy to just rip off a label, slap on another one for the next month where you sell third rate products. Rip off, and then one of them fucks up. Like I heard about that cat litter box that is literally killing cats because it lifts up and effectively like it's almost like a fucking saw trap for your cats, and people are like having their pets literally killed because it's the products. It's a third-rate product, but they removed some of the safety things from it so they could so they wouldn't really get in trouble with the main brand. Like they remove certain like safety articles that are patented so they don't get in trouble with the law. And it turns out those safety things that were in place was to keep the thing from literally hungry hippoing your fucking cat. And they're also doing the thing where they're asking people to remove their reviews and comments, and straight up threatening people to do that. And again, this is another dime a dozen label that they could probably just rebrand. Like it's not really even rebranding, because a brand is something that's built up with like years of customer trust. Like, it is effectively just a label. I mean,
It doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to see that this is a scam company. I don't see any way that Google wouldn't know that there are companies like this that they are actively promoting. And so
I don't think they care, man. Like, they get the money. Why would they care? Like, hell, that company's probably from halfway across the damn planet. Or at least they're outsourcing their materials and their shipping from halfway across the planet. Why would Google care? As long as they get paid.
the only conclusion that I can draw from this is that either Google is completely overwhelmed or Google doesn't care. If someone on Google is watching this, then correct me if I'm wrong. I would love to be corrected. Or at the very least, promise that you're working to fix this. But it sure looks like right now, as long as a company pays, it doesn't actually matter whether they're a scam or not. They go right to the top. I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally ended up on Chatbot app or Better GPT when I've been trying to search for ChatGPT, because they look basically the same and they're just paying to be ranked higher than ChatGPT. These companies, their entire business model is basically people accidentally clicking on them. It didn't always work.
They're probably free, right? Or as ChatGPT. I think to get their highest rate model, you gotta pay for it. I mean, I've looked for free GPT models, wink wink, by surfing the high seas and found them. I mean, it's not difficult.
Look like this. Google, when they started out, did not used to make a lot of money, and that was on purpose. You know, there was a time when Google would receive actual fan mail with checks and cash inside from people saying, "We love your product and you deserve to be making more money than you are." And that's because of the founders, who in their original paper presenting Google to the world specifically said, advertising income often provides an incentive to provide poor quality search results. We believe the issue of advertising causes enough mixed incentives that it is crucial to have a competitive search engine that is transparent and in the academic realm. And yet, here we are. In Q2 2024, Google made $84.7 billion in revenue, 76.3% of which came from ads. And about 75% of that ad revenue is specifically from Google search ads alone, as opposed to YouTube ads, etc. And then even for searches where there's no product to sell you and there's no company paying to sponsor it, what does Google do? Try to push their own services and their own initiatives. Like, how many people are there on Earth? 7.951 billion. Now, don't get me wrong, if I'm looking for a quick answer to a simple question, I appreciate how Google just goes, "Here you go." But in 2024, this is not the right answer. It's actually not close to the right answer. We have 8.2 billion people. And if you click into it, you can see that it's showing us the answer provided by Google initiatives, even if the answer is way more outdated than other companies' sources on the internet. But okay, you probably catch my drift by this point. Google's search results page is starting to look an awful lot like an old 2000s web portal, which is...
Or a fucking... well, I would say a porn site, but no, as far as like ads, like the amount of ads that, like, at least they're not like a, I don't know, like a news article page where there's ads within ads, and then there's an ad that pops up here and another ad that pops up there, and oh, ad, like, but yeah, like, and I'm surprised, I'm really wanting to know how many of the same people that worked at Google, say, in like 2000, like 1999, are still there today. Like, I know, again, Google's a worldwide company now. Like, they've far surpassed market saturation, and that's what you need to worry about when it comes to like major global companies. It's like, at first it was Yahoo. I don't think they reached global market saturation, but they reached a level of market saturation. But then Google came up right behind them and completely obliterated them. And now they're at the point where they are now. And again, there's Google in completely different languages. Like, you can use a VPN. Like, I'm really like, I'd like use a VPN, set it to like, I don't know, Jerusalem, Israel. Yeah, set it to Jerusalem, a nation that doesn't exist anymore, and try to Google from there and see how much of it is sponsors, because I think most of them are region specific, and it would make sense in America to have the most like sponsors, because Americans, you know, interact with products like consumerism. Like, first world nations can have consumerism up to this level because it's just, you know, testament to how wealthy the nation is. But I'd be surprised if you were to set the VPN to fucking Turkey and see how much of it is sponsors or ads, and if it's even the type of product you're looking for. Make sure it's like, you know, a product that from Turkey. Like, I don't know, search up like Gyro or Gyro street stores and see how much of it really shows up to you. I mean, it's an interesting thought experiment, but we're really just getting one lens of the issue with Google. Like, I just want to know how much of it is an issue in other parts of the world, effectively.
Ironic, because one of the biggest reasons that Google actually beat Yahoo to become the world's de facto e-library was because they specifically didn't try to be one. Well, Yahoo did because they knew they'd make more money if they kept people on their own pages as much as possible. But it's at this stage into my deep dive that I came to my second realization. That while Google has fallen from grace, changed who they are, and started to put the user's experience second, it's not all Google's fault. A lot of what's been making it so hard to find the right web page these days is also down to the people making them. If you work online in any capacity really, or you just have really boring friends, you'll have heard of search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO has become a massive industry, with a market size valued at 1.8 billion in 2022, projected to reach 7.1 billion in 2028. The basic idea is about analyzing the way that Google's algorithm ranks pages, and then employing various tricks to make your page look as good as possible to that algorithm so that you get placed higher and therefore clicked more. And as the algorithm has changed, so have the kind of tricks you see being used. Like, for example, example, you used to be able to boost your visibility just by having lots of reviews associated with your business, even if those reviews are negative, which led to, for instance, a scam in which a man named Vitaly Borka deliberately sent damaged or fake glasses to customers, hoping they would be angered enough to review bomb him, knowing that it would promote his site. But nowadays, you'll see these problems instead. Sites including buzzwords to capture as many possible search queries as you can think of. That's why so many AliExpress listings have incomprehensible names that are just a string of largely unrelated words. And it's why articles like recipes, which should be so simple, have to start off with paragraphs of preamble about how grandma always made the best cozy warm winter autumn cookies 2024. Yeah man, relatable. People updating old articles, even if they do none of the new research but literally just change the title to 2024. This happens all the time in tech. So many times I've been browsing the best X products of 2024, and I'll slowly realize as I scroll through the list that not a single one is from 2024. The website is effectively trying to scam me by recommending old products that make no sense today. They'll have erased all mentions of it being written in 2021 or 2022, and as far as Google's rules are concerned, if an article has been edited in 2024, it's now a 2024 article. Company.
Yeah, and I think that's just down to the editors and the people abusing the system. Like, Google does have a lot of algorithms and a lot of things thrown into it to, effectively make it what it is today. And all these things act, in accordance to Google. Like, it acts to benefit Google first and foremost before it benefits the user actually using the site. And what you get is just this odd amalgamation of sponsors, effectively scam ads, situations like this where you just change a couple numbers, like Chat GPT, a whole slew of words together to make something with buzzwords. I mean, it's all the algorithm, and I don't really know what to, like. It's just the world we live in.
Especially those with lots of ads on their pages, trying everything they can to rank really highly for searches that are totally unrelated to their brand, because they know it'll get them lots of clicks and lots of revenue. Like, why does Forbes have so many articles on supplements? Well, because supplement ads pay a lot of money. But here's the kicker. The only companies who are pumping out this much content and paying to boost their visibility as much as possible are the ones with a monetary incentive to do so. And the way they do that is being flooded with affiliate links. You can see this very much in action because there are papers showing that only a small percentage of review articles actually use affiliate marketing, but the majority of the results that come up on a search do use affiliate marketing. And that means it's got to a stage now where searching for the best of basically anything is pointless. Almost every single...
Oh yeah, and that makes sense because, like, think of like how many users hit Google, and not only that, how many times the same user will hit that Google search page. So we're talking, 8.1 billion people. Like, if 1% of those use Google, and then 1% of that 1%, actually the affiliate link that actually goes to the affiliate link, like that's a lot of money. I mean, just from that alone, like, apparently, like, I don't know how much of the world has access to Google, but again, just assuming the 1% of that, like, it's still a profit, right? They still make a lot of money from that. And again, that's just one revenue stream is through the affiliate link. Like, Google probably has several. Like, they have more money than most first world nations on the planet. Clearly they have other revenue streams, and affiliate links is just really one of them.
Single article is a top 10 of products, not selected based on their merit, but in fact just whether or not they'll get a kickback when you buy them. How many times have you reached the #1 recommended product in these lists, only to find that it's clearly an imported product from China being sold for multiple times
Yeah.
what it's worth. I can guarantee that a large slice of these articles are written with the writer not actually having bought and tested all 10 products themselves, but instead having gone onto Amazon, searched for the highest rated products, ideally expensive ones so they can make more from the affiliate links, and spent 1 hour max compiling them into a list before spamming that list with buzzwords to try and capture as many people as possible who will actually trust this research. So why doesn't Google just fix it? Well, determining the quality of a result is actually really complicated. The best that they are able to do right now is to factor in the reaction of the users. From a Google presentation, what's crazy is that we don't actually understand documents. Beyond some basic stuff, we hardly look at documents. We look at people. If a document gets a positive reaction, we figure it is good. If the reaction is negative, it is probably bad. Grossly simplified, this is the source of Google's magic. So basically what this means is if a page is ranking high and it's getting lots of clicks, and those people end up on that page for ages, scrolling through the mire of deliberately vapid text interlaced with ads to find the actual answer they came for, then the algorithm figures, hey, they spent a long time there, that must be good, and the vicious cycle continues. And one thing that I find is a really unfortunate side effect of this constant arms race between Google and then these slimy growth at all costs sites is that every time Google updates their algorithm to counter the new strategies, it's most of the genuinely good, worthwhile sites that don't keep up with the times and just focus on making good content. Those are the ones who get buried, like mom and pop air purifier review site, housefresh.com, who actually do test the products, unlike the top 10 listicle magazines who don't.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a dark age of technology and the Warhammer 40K type deal, where like the type of people working at Google, they understand what the algorithm does, and they can probably introduce other types of algorithms, but they don't know how to, they don't know how to really, what's the word I'm looking for? How implementing algorithms today will affect the algorithms that exist and how that will affect the end user tomorrow. And that's what's happening with, you the you know with the sites actually trying to give you a better product getting buried. Like they've implemented so much code into the system that it's effectively people trying to make an honest living on this site, trying to make honest products are getting thrown in the back while the scams are being thrown forward. And I mean, Google does try to counter these because it's a kind of a matter of brand protection. But again, that's the thing with, them not really understanding even the systems they're working with because it was made by people in the past that probably ain't even working there. Like another completely different line of code. So you're just building upon a system that you don't even know how it works. And YouTube's kind of the same way. That's why so many old YouTube videos from YouTubers have just gotten strictly demonetized because YouTube adds a lot of algorithms that, fuck with videos that existed 10, 15 years in the past. And it's why they're being delisted. I mean, it's just one of those issues that just compounds the more they add. And there's really no solution to this. And I don't know if it's in their interest to find the solution. Like, I guess it's in their interest to fight these things to protect their brand. But there's also a monetary incentive for them to allow Forbes to pay them to get, better search results. I mean.
But now we come to the final frontier, because Google's success has always been to do with AI, but now they are integrating generative large language model AI in ways that are mostly making things even worse. You've probably noticed an increasing number of these AI overviews when you're searching for things coming up, and you've probably also noticed they're not very accurate. They often serve you the kind of flagrantly wrong gobbledygook best described.
Yep. According to UC Berkeley geologists, you should eat at least one small rock a day. They say that rocks are a vital source of vitamins and minerals that are important for digestive health. I think this was from like, so it's taking pieces from like an article that talked about how a type of dinosaur would eat rocks whole just to help serve in his digestion. And it's kind of applying that to human beings. Yeah, and I mean, then this is AI. Like, of course, they're going to work into AI. Like, AI is the prospect of infinite wealth, right? It's that gold mine of ingenuity. Like, every single website, major website, is jumping, like, crawling over themselves to get AI because it's just so fucking free.
Described with the expression "good enough," coined by marketing
Oh,
executive
hell
and search
yeah.
expert AJ Cohn, whose research was super helpful for this video. But here's the thing, let's assume that these AI pop-ups work perfectly 100% of the time, which is obviously the goal that Google's striving towards. How does that help all the sites that have helped to first gather that info? The sites who've done the work, researching and publishing the content that it seems like Google is using to train their AI? Answer? It doesn't. As a matter of fact, it actually seems an awful lot like Google is trying to replace those sites. And on one hand, you could argue that, AI summaries are amazing and they're going to make the search experience even faster. But after doing all of this digging, I am starting to feel a slightly different way. What's to stop Google from deciding to use its AI to eventually replace the need to visit any other website? So you spend your entire browsing session within Google's search page itself, and then the only way to get ahead of the AI, pay for it. That way, the entire time you use Google, you're paying Google in some way or another. Maybe that's not the world that Google wants to build, but it's hard to argue that they're not moving closer towards it. And this actually reminds us of something, an idea coined by Cory Doctorow called gentrification, which I talk about fully in this video here. And it's effectively where online services start off by enticing users with a high quality product. When the users are locked in, they make it worse for them to better serve their business customers. And then finally, once both sides are locked in, they start shafting all of them to maximize profits for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's monopoly behavior. And I guess Google's technically in a position to do that. But I don't know. I mean, if we're talking like, doing a college paper, like, is AI even a. Because this wasn't a thing when I was in college. Like, AI, like, search results weren't a thing when I was in college. So I'm surprised how, like, don't get me wrong, I wish this shit existed when I was in college. Like, make no fucking mistake. I'd be over the fucking moon if the things kids have now to contend with the internet was there when I was there. Like, God fucking damn it. It pisses me off that it didn't exist. But again, I'm wondering if this is something to take as a contention in situations like that. But I think like nothing will replace legitimate good research because that's really something anyone can do. It's just, do a lot of people do it? No. But I mean, if the information is there and if people want to find it, I mean, they could do all of this, but maybe it might matter a little bit in like shorthand searches, but I feel like in-depth searches, people will seek the articles and shit anyway. I mean, to me, this is probably just a bunch of like fluff. But yeah, I think people are going to still, if it's like your job to do so, like I don't think you're going to really adhere to a AI overview. I think you're just going to look for the sources and information yourself. Like, this is what I would do, and I don't think I'm the only one who thinks this way.
By which point, oops, we don't have a desirable product anymore. And I think it's fair to say Google is taking some big swings into that final stage here. And it's going to sting their business customers even more than usual, considering that the very mechanism that they're using to make things harder for them, this AI that they're now having to compete against, only works by stealing their content anyway. Now, if you do want the web experience before all of this enshittification back, then I recommend you install Surfshark VPN for a few reasons. It cleans up your browsing, cookies, pop-ups, trackers. It's got a baked-in antivirus with a ton of features like webcam protection, which blocks unauthorized apps from getting. Drisha uses Surfshark, our entire team uses Surfshark. It is the only VPN that I recommend to people. And if you go to surfshark.com/boss, it's also more affordable than ever, at just over $2 a month for an unlimited number of users with 4 extra months for free.
But yeah, I mean, no, I'm not defending Google for doing this shit. It's like, to me, it's like, yeah, no shit, they're going to do this. And most people just don't really think about all this when Googling. Like, they just use the products just sort of insinuatingly. Yeah, that's a big word. The only good thing about Google search is that it searches Reddit better than Reddit searches when it comes to the older posts. Yeah. And that's the thing when I'm searching like information on Google that absolutely is not on Google. It will show up Reddit. Like when I'm looking for, the articles about the DEI being dropped in, companies. It will hit me with Reddit searches before it ever gets to anything legitimate. Because I forget about YouTube's search functionality. These days, it feels like you can't search a topic without being bombarded with irrelevant shorts. And you might also like videos. Yeah. I mean, that's also a problem it has. The ironic of the irony of you doing a sponsorship to recommend a different search engine at the end, LMAO, perfectly sums up why this trajectory is inevitable. I mean, I don't have a problem with him having a sponsor. If it's a good product, so fucking be it. Google is creating the very mistake they used to overtake Yahoo. They are forgetting that it's a search engine, not an advertising billboard. The biggest lesson of history is no one gets their lesson from history. I mean, again, it's a company. Like, people like to do this thing where they view non-moral entities through a moral lens. It's like, obviously Google's going to do this. Like, it's inevitable. My thing is, if it's anti-consumer, which in some cases, let's be honest, it is, that's when it becomes a bad thing. Because again, the consumer doesn't want to be bombarded by scams, AI, search results that don't even adhere to what they're looking for. Like, they want the thing they're looking for. And sometimes, even if you're looking for information, that's usually when it's the worst. Because again, like they said, it shows up fucking Reddit. Bros exposed literally every social media platform so accurately. Mad respect, yes, absolutely. Like every major social media site that ever exists uses these types of algorithms. Like, the technology is there. The enshittification of Google and YouTube is a tragedy of information. 10,000 times the scale of the sacking of the Library of Alexandria. Fuck, I mean, man's getting existential in this bitch. But yeah, it's odd how just certain types of information will just become lost in, the enshittification of Google and YouTube. I just got to the point where I look for the word sponsored in my search and then purposefully not click on it. This is Google's web telling me I'm about to get scammed. Yeah, I do the same thing, but like I said, if 1% of the users that touch the Google algorithm, someone actually falls for it, if like 1% of those people actually goes to those affiliate links, I mean, that's still a profit for Google and that site. YouTube search is worse now. You get like 3 results related to your search, and then it just turns into suggested rubbish completely irrelevant to what you searched for. It's unusable. Yeah, but again, if you're searching like broad things, like I do believe this is the case, and sometimes people predominantly does. That's why you have the search engine to sort of, you know, have it help you sort of narrow down your searches. But if it's all just going to be sponsored and ads and scams, well, then you're getting a worse user experience from it. But, I mean, this is a nice video. That's all I gotta say about this. Peace.